Hey guys, so this week we want to talk to you about another concept, but it's super simple. It's called reading. Some people like it. For example, what can I say? Some people don't. Some people do it because they have to at school. Some people do it for fun. But I think that a lot of us only think we're actually reading. And because we've misled ourselves, we don't realize when we're not reading closely. We don't realize when we're missing the important moments or only focusing on minor details that end up not being crucial to the story. This is true for everybody till they learn how to actively read. And we're going to show you a couple examples of what active reading is not. Do I have to read this whole thing? Dang, that was real good, Teach. Oh, I've seen the movie. I'm good. Yes! What? What? I didn't understand any of that. What? Ah! I'm just listening to the audiobook on tape as I read along, I swear. Let's be honest with ourselves. Are you guilty of any of those? Chances are the answer is yes. I'm guilty of them from time to time. I'm especially guilty of them when I'm forced to read something that I haven't chosen myself. But that's what English class does. That's my job. And your job is to actually read. Now, active reading is not magic. You don't have to be a magician. All you need is three things. You need a reading material, you need highlighters, you need a writing utensil, you need a cool hat, you need sunglasses, and that's it. Now, all magic aside, active reading means exactly what it sounds like. You cannot comprehend to your full ability if all the movement that you're doing is the turn of a page. You need to activate your brain when you read. And you do this by focusing on certain details, thinking about how you personally connect and react. You need to contemplate. You need to question. You need to find those personal connections to the book. And when you annotate, it forces you to do this. Now, some of you might know how to annotate already. Some of you maybe have never even heard the word. But we're going to teach you how to annotate throughout this year, and I'm going to show you an example that'll start with something simple. As we read, I want you to look for any details that you think help characterize Hazel. And what I mean by this is any details that help you picture her any better, physically, but more importantly, anything that helps you understand the type of
of person she is, her character, her personality. There once lived a little girl, cute and precocious, and her name was Hazel. She was just like you and me and every one of your friends. She was nice to animals. She loved to play. She adored her precious toys and books. Hazel was different in only one way. She was hollow on the inside. No guts, no gore, no veins, no blood, just hollow. Hollow Hazel had a little door on her front. The door had a little brass handle. When she pulled on the handle, Hazel's belly opened into a little empty space. The one thing inside was kept in a tiny little cage hanging from the ceiling. Her heart was safe as an egg inside this cage, and she could show it to anyone she wanted just by opening herself up with a little tug on the brass knob on her front. Okay, so I hope you picked up on a few details as I was reading that to you there. We're going to suggest that you choose two highlighter colors here. And if you're doing your reading from the computer, your highlighter option is going to be different depending on the program you're using. I've opened this story up in Google Docs, so my highlight is where I would expect it to be with any document. I'm going to choose yellow for anything that is physical about Hazel, and I'm going to choose green about anything that is personality about Hazel. So we're going to begin by looking for details that help us picture Hollow Hazel better in our head. These are most typically physical characteristics, but sometimes actions and the way they're described by the narrator can help us understand physical attributes as well. Hollow Hazel is described as a little girl, cute and precocious. And if you're like me and you don't know exactly what precocious means, this would be a great vocabulary word to add to your Quizlet account for the week. Now, I'm going to scan the rest of this reading looking for physical attributes. I know that she has no guts, no gore, no veins, no blood, and is just hollow. This is absolutely a necessary detail since this is a very strange character that I wouldn't come across in the real world. I know that she had a little door on her front and that it had a little brass handle. And I know that she had a tiny little cage hanging from the ceiling where her heart was safe. Now, could I keep going and find a few more details? Absolutely. But for me, this helps me picture in great detail the character that I'm dealing with here. Now, I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to review what I just looked at for some other purpose. I'm now going to try to figure out what kind of person Hollow Hazel is, because often physical characteristics don't help us understand the character's personality. So I'm going to scan this first paragraph looking for things that she does, things that she says, things that the narrator says about her way of behaving, and I immediately find that she was nice to animals. And again, I'm using a different highlight color because it's a different topic. She loved to play. She adored toys and books. Now, if I read carefully enough through the second paragraph, I can find some personality traits by analyzing some of the comments about the way she looks. For example, she kept the tiny heart in a cage so that it would be safe as an egg. So, in my opinion, this helps me analyze Hazel's character as very empathetic, caring, comforting. Now, annotating also involves recording little notes. The notes can be about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, your reaction to what happened on the page, an explanation for why you just highlighted. There's many other things that you could take notes of as well. We've had students draw pictures that will help them remember certain ideas they had. We have students put question marks and exclamation points when they're excited or they're curious or confused. We've had students write very fragmented summaries off to the side of paragraphs that are extremely important. A true annotation, credit in our class, is when those markings in the text are accompanied by your handwritten note about them. So, for example, let's say that if I wanted to do it with my comment about the egg, because that is a very great analytical idea I had there, I would add a comment and I would simply add what I analyzed about Hazel. Shows empathy and concern for precious things. And these ideas are now a complete annotation. That final example right there is a way to show you that annotating gets us much deeper into the text than just simply reading. This active reading allows you to identify important details and gives you that pause, the moment you need to make a personal connection or a deeper analysis. And these in turn get you hooked on the story even more, which propel the reading forward. The point is, annotating is a very personal thing, and it's different for everyone. But every good reader pays attention to the same important details, and character is one of the most important. As always, this is here for you to watch again, to pause, to follow along as you go. But if you feel confident in your ability to annotate characterization, both direct and indirect, we'd ask you to practice this while you begin to read our new story, The Crucible.